Wilson, nice running into Bridgewater, quarterback draw, right up the middle, and he's in! Touchdown, Carolina! Ball comes out late.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to MeowMix, the Carolina Panthers podcast. My name is Steven.
My name is Jerry.
And we're doing a rapid reaction podcast today. The game has just ended, and the Carolina Panthers drop another one-score game, this time to the Denver Broncos, 32-27, a game that I guess it was as close as the final score. It didn't feel like it at times, but the Panthers came roaring back in the fourth quarter, almost took this game, didn't quite get there. Initial thoughts for me, just disappointed. 2-7 now in one-score games for the Panthers, so that sucks. This was just a tough game to watch, and especially at times.
I want to go ahead and warn everybody. If you have little kids around, I will probably be using very foul language this game because the Panthers, Coach Rule, they just fucking sucked. Point blank, they sucked. And the reason I think they personally sucked, I think the coaching staff didn't coach this team to win the game. I think they just coached this team. Teddy Bridgewater looked like shit. He's not going to be the future of this team. Honestly, I was hoping he would get benched halfway through the game because at least PJ Walker will try to force the ball down the field. 3rd and 20, let's go for another dump off 2-yard pass to Ian Thomas so we don't even attempt to get into field goal range. Now, you're 4-8. Where is your guts? You have no guts. Like I said, I think Coach Rule realized that they're 4-8 and we're 4-8, and that if we lose, we're dropping back to about pick number 12. If we lose, or if we won, we would drop back to the 12th, and if we lose, we probably stay around 6 or 7 draft pick. I personally feel like this whole coaching staff tried not to win this game. I think the players on the field tried to win, but I don't think the coaching staff themselves coached up a game plan to win this game. Look at that Chiefs game plan and look at this game plan. Completely different styles of just like mindset of going for it, trying to win. And this one was like, Ian Thomas, you're a number 1 receiver this week.
Well, he got 4 targets, but a lot of them in the first half. Yeah, it was weird. It was a tale of two halves here, really. The Panthers in the first half just extremely, really the first 3 quarters, you could say, extremely vanilla on offense. Defense, they, did okay at times, but again, I just don't I don't know, man. Panthers are missing some key players here, right? On offense, you're missing your number 1 wide receiver in DJ Moore. Defense, you're missing Zach Kerr, who's been a big part of the run game, especially, which the Panthers weren't terrible against the run today. Yeah. But how about this, Jerry? Let's do our 3 key plays, and then we'll get into it hardcore. But let's keep to our format here. By the way, Teddy Bridgewater, 30 for 40, Jerry. So, has that high completion ratio, seems to be extremely important.
Congratulations. He gets a fucking sticker.
Yeah, you're 4-9. And actually, he doesn't even get one of those wins. So
no.
Nice job.
All right, 3 key plays of the game. We're going to start off first half. Denver returns a punt. Deontay Spencer, 83 yards, punt return touchdown. First score of the game, puts them up 6-0. They missed the extra point. I personally thought I saw a hold against our punter, but no call. So
yeah, I thought I saw a block in the back on Denver on that play as well. But, our special teams has been very good this year and made some very good plays in this game. But that was sort of a harbinger of things to come, unfortunately.
Yeah, they had back-to-back bad plays because then Trenton Cannon stepped out of bounds
right.
or inbounds.
What was that, out of bounds?
Luckily, he got to the 14, 15-yard line. Otherwise, that'd have been just awful.
That was a brain fart on his part.
Ugh. All right, moving on to our second one. Denver, 2nd and 9 from Carolina's 32. Jeremy Chinn lights up Drew Lock, causing the fumble. F.A. Obada returns it to Denver's 3. This is the only real highlight of this game, in my opinion, for the Panthers. Jeremy Chinn, absolutely beast. If he has some more players around him on defense besides Brian Burns, this defense could be a reckoning. it shows it has potential in some of its young players. Gross Matos made some plays this week. Like I said, Burns, great, probably a Pro Bowler this year. But the rest, I mean, Shaq Thompson made some plays. Trey Boston made some plays. But for the most part,
I tweeted out "Welcome to 2020 season, Trey Boston" after he made a really nice stop on, I think it was a 3rd and 1 or something, and he just lit up the running back. That was really nice. But yeah, this was a great play. Jeremy Chinn, doing what he does, causing fumbles, getting to the quarterback here nicely, and I believe our only sack of the game, right? Yes, our only sack of the game. And this was a huge play. And, you felt like it could be a turning point.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it didn't turn out to be that way. And I was really rooting for Obada to get into the end zone there.
Me too.
He was huffing and puffing down the field and almost got there, but came up just a little short. The Panthers did end up scoring a touchdown. So
luckily, because Teddy Bridgewater tried to throw an interception on that first down.
He sure did.
Oh man, that was an awful play. Like, he threw it to the cornerback. If the cornerback actually looked, he would have intercepted it. It was a horrible back shoulder throw to
Curtis Samuel.
Yeah, just horrible.
Which I believe was Curtis Samuel's only target in the first half. By the way, Curtis Samuel ends up with 7 catches, but all in the second half. And the offense, I know let's not jump ahead too far here, but the offense really started moving when they started using Curtis Samuel.
Because we knew we were already losing.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute.
All right. And our third key play of the game, fourth quarter, 1st and 10 from Carolina's 49. Denver's Drew Lock hits Hamler for a touchdown, 3:54 left on the clock. I mean, that put us down by 2 scores, 2 touchdowns.
At that point, you thought the game was over.
Yeah.
We go down 12 points with under 4 minutes left. And then the Panthers score in 28 seconds to get back to within 5. And then the rest of the game happens, force a 3 and out. And then the Panthers just can't do anything with that last drive. But yeah, that was a backbreaker, that touchdown play there. And that was indicative. Rasul Douglas was terrible in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. He gave up 2 touchdowns.
He gave up 3 touchdowns.
3, I'm sorry.
He gave up 3 touchdowns, I believe, and was just beat badly on all of them.
And this is what Philadelphia released him for, having good parts of the season and bad parts of the season. And now we're in the bad parts of the season because he has looked awful. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if our top pick is a cornerback. If there's not a quarterback there that they really like, I could easily see them grabbing a top corner.
Well, we knew coming into the season that corner was a desperate need. And Rasul Douglas has played well at times. This game, and it was funny, this game, they didn't play Rasul Douglas much in the first quarter. He sat most of the first quarter. And I wonder if, maybe he wasn't feeling well. Maybe he, he had COVID a few weeks ago. Maybe he's still suffering some of the blowback
lingering
from that.
effects.
I don't know. Yeah, effects from that. So I don't know. Maybe he just wasn't himself in this game. He certainly didn't look like himself in this game because he was just biting on everything. And I don't know. He looked like Dante Jackson has looked in the past. And Dante Jackson, by the way, gets hurt again in this game. So
Dante Jackson, I mean, I honestly didn't even know he was on the field for a lot of the game, which I guess is good because he wasn't out there blowing coverages. But
yeah, I'll be curious to see what the snap count was for him, because it feels like he wasn't out there a lot.
And again, it could be he had good coverage and they just avoided going his way. Yeah. I mean, another game where Phil Snow's style of defense makes a mediocre to poor quarterback look like an all-pro. I mean, Drew Lock.
Yeah.
21 to 27, 280, 4 touchdowns.
No interceptions for the first time in 8 games.
So
no interceptions.
Yeah, next week I will be trying to talk in an English accent for 5 minutes at the beginning of the podcast. But it's pathetic. I really think this coaching staff rolled out a vanilla offense and defense to not try to win the game.
The players they weren't out there making plays. I mean, Teddy Bridgewater sucked in this game. We talked about that. That has nothing to do with Matt Rule. Teddy Bridgewater won't throw the ball downfield. There were several times you and I were texting in the middle of this game. There were several times that we saw players open downfield that Teddy just wouldn't do it. He couldn't get rid of the ball. He took 4 sacks, and most of those were on him because he held the ball too long.
So is that coaching or is that Teddy Bridgewater? Because that play may have been ran where that deep route was more of a, fake deep route instead of a deep route. It may have been one of those. He's his third or fourth.
We saw
options.
how PJ Walker played. And it's the same coaching staff. And PJ Walker was throwing that ball downfield. Teddy Bridgewater didn't throw the ball downfield in New Orleans. He hasn't thrown the ball downfield here. I don't think it's I'm not placing how Teddy Bridgewater played today on the coaching staff. And again, his stats, 30 for 40, 283, no touchdowns. He had the rushing touchdown. 3 for 31 rushing the ball with a touchdown. His stats don't look terrible, but if you watch the game, he's not getting it done.
No,
he's not
absolutely.
doing what needs to happen.
Teddy Bridgewater needs to be sat down, and PJ Walker, we need to see what he has because he looked better in his one start than Teddy Bridgewater. I know he threw 2 interceptions, but at least he was trying to get something done. I feel like Teddy Bridgewater is too scared to make a bad mistake. He's too scared to make a mistake.
I agree. I think Teddy Bridgewater cares way too much about completion percentage.
Okay. And you said that the Panthers weren't coaching to lose this game. Why did they not run the ball? Why did Denver has a bad rushing
Jerry,
defense?
You and I have talked about this for weeks now. They don't run the ball. I have been begging for them to run the ball for weeks. And you always tell me, oh, they can't run the ball in this team, blah, blah, blah. Well, they didn't run the ball today either.
This is a team they can run it on. Davis was running well.
They don't run the ball. They just don't run the ball. Look at weeks past. They don't run the ball. This is not a team that runs the ball.
Mike Davis, 11 carries, 51 yards, 2 touchdowns.
They also were down by double digits in a lot of this game.
In the second half.
As you tell me every week.
In the second half. In the first half, they didn't want to run the ball anyways. They ran it.
That's what they do. That's what they do.
Yeah.
Every week. Every week we talk about this.
Like I said, I think
it's ridiculous to assume that an NFL coach is trying to lose a game or not trying to win a game. It's the same thing with the Jets last week when everyone
Sean Payton did it a couple years ago against us.
They had already locked up the playoffs, Jerry, and I don't think he was trying to lose. I don't think he was trying to lose that game. I think he just didn't really care if he won it. But again, they had already locked up a playoff. They couldn't do anything. There was nothing else they could do. The game didn't really matter to him.
And
if you're telling me that this game doesn't matter to Matt Rule,
I don't. Because
really
he knows
don't
he's
think you know
the
what
next
you're
2-3 years.
about. He's got a 6-year contract.
We're not inside Matt Rule's head. And obviously he's going to go up to the press conference and be like, oh, this is a close one. Another one where we got to let it get away from us. We don't know what's in his head, but the coaching style, the way this game plan was, if this was Matt Rule's coaching, we're in for a long time because this was piss poor. It was
coaching. Ugly. It was definitely ugly. I just don't know what the point would be to throw the game if you're the head coach. I mean, the draft is going to figure itself out. Whether you're picking 7th or you're picking 10th, it doesn't matter really. I mean, the draft is going to figure itself out. You're trying to win games. I just don't subscribe to that.
No, don't. That's fine. I bet you anything next week we come out and we lose Green Bay, but I bet you anything we
Green
play
Bay's
a lot
really
better.
good team.
I bet you anything we play a lot better, more crisp game than we did this week. And I bet you the game plan will be night and day. And now we're going to go ahead and jump into heroes and zeros. Steven, why don't you start us off with your hero?
Well, this is kind of a tough one, but I'm just going to go with Jeremy Chinn. For the second week in a row, I think second game in a row, at least. He played extremely well out there, and he, if not the best defensive player on the team, he's second best, and I think he's well on his way. He's just all over the place, extremely versatile. He's getting better every week. 8 tackles, had the sack and the forced fumble. Yeah, Jeremy Chinn.
I concur. I thought about it, and there's no one else I think is deserving of that, hero of the game besides Jeremy Chinn. I think he made the game interesting. He did everything he possibly could do from his position, especially as a rookie, to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy Chinn, great job. You should win Defensive Rookie of the Year. Hopefully next, when we play Washington, you really outshine Chase Young and kind of stiff arm him into the back of the line.
As long as he keeps making these big splash plays, I think, I mean, that's what's going to get him attention. So
I agree, because he's already leading the league for rookies and tackles. And now he has 2 touchdowns, a sack, interception, 2 touchdowns. So
yeah,
those are the fun numbers that people will look at that don't watch the Panthers every week.
Yep.
Now zeros. I'm going to go ahead and start off on zeros. I'm going to go Rasul Douglas. I knew you gave up 2 touchdowns. Steven said 3 touchdowns. You looked awful out there. You looked lost. You didn't look like the first half of the season type of guy.
Yeah, I agree. That was going to be my choice. I'm going to go with Joe Brady then instead. The offensive game plan, until the fourth quarter really was just terrible. Yeah, you were missing DJ Moore, but Curtis Samuel didn't get a single target in the first half. That's insane. You didn't run the ball enough. That's crazy when you don't have your best wide receiver. Run the ball, especially against a team like the Broncos who give up a lot of rushing yards. So yeah, Joe Brady for the first time this season is going to get my 0. And by the way, I think Joe Brady still going to be a Panthers offensive coordinator next year.
Oh, definitely. I don't think he's done enough to.
Yeah, he's 30 years old. I think he's showing his immaturity a little bit by not adapting to these situations quickly enough, or his inexperience, at least, not his immaturity. So yeah, I think he'll be around next year.
All right, and let's go to our overall game grade for this week.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a D, honestly. Even though they almost won this game, I just think in all phases there were massive mistakes and massive missed opportunities, and the game plan was weird. All 3 phases, like I said, had big issues. So I'm going with a D.
I went D- because of exactly what you said. I know we kind of can't scrap together, but overall this game was just piss poor by the whole coaching staff. I think some of the players made some good plays. I think Robbie Anderson had a good game. I think Curtis Samuel, when he actually was finally targeted, had a good game. Teddy Bridgewater stunk it up. Mike Davis had a decent game when he actually was given the ball. But the players overall tried their best, and I think the coaching staff kind of mailed it in.
Yeah, and honestly, and a lot of that is who they were playing. Also, for me, the fact that you're playing a 4-8 team,
exactly,
a team that you should beat, coming out like that is inexcusable.
We want to thank everyone for listening. If you like our show, please let your friends know. Please follow us on Twitter at MeowMix Podcast. If you have any questions or comments, you can email us at mailbag@meowmixpodcast.com. And if you leave us a 5-star review with a comment on Apple Podcasts, we'll read it on the show.
We'll be back midweek at least to do a preview for the Green Bay Packers Carolina Panthers game on Saturday night, 8:15. Tune in. Jerry will spend the first 5 minutes of that game talking in an English accent because he lost the accent of the week bet. I don't know what we want to call that, but lost the beer bet of the week. So
I wouldn't say fun. I lost it as much as Phil Snow lost it, making Drew Lock look a Pro Bowler.
Never put your faith in Will Snow or Phil Snow, Jerry. That was your first mistake.
You're absolutely correct.
So until then, everybody stay safe and keep pounding.